my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and Hogwarts house sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. There's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
Well, according to us.
According to us. Hi, guys. Wow, am I happy to see you. I missed you so much. I've been sitting in front of my mic just waiting for you to get here, and finally you're back. I can't enjoy it very long because Lauren's going to kill me. Lauren, say hi before you commit murder.
Why would I kill you?
You just looked so, done with me already. I warned her.
I started laughing hysterically. I guess that means I'm on the brink of murder.
Well, I know you well enough to know. So,
hello.
Hi, Lauren. Today is a very special episode because we have two of the coolest people in the world with us. Allow me to introduce the hosts of the amazingly hilarious and sexy podcast, Wed and Behead. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
We're very excited to be called sexy. Yeah, I was going to say, we mostly talk about pasta.
I don't know. When we were on, there wasn't much talk of pasta.
Pasta's pretty sexy. It's a pretty sexy
That's
food.
true. Well, we do talk about pegging our husbands.
Yes, we do.
This is Meg and Carla, by the way, since Rachel was too rude to say their names.
I was leading up to it. It was more important that they got called sexy first.
I mean, honestly, at our age,
our
absolutely.
Yes. I'm Carla, by the way.
I'm Meg.
Hi, guys. How you
and
doing?
we're the boobs.
We're the boobs. Meg and Carla are drinking. They brought it over here.
Of course.
Meg is. I don't know what Carla's
would
doing.
Would it really be... Please, sweetheart.
Carla and I were planning on recording this an hour and a half sooner, so you're getting a very different guest experience than you would have an hour ago.
It just makes me rethink our system here. We said this the other day, but I'm really thinking about just constantly having some kind of drink here now every time we record.
Did you get a drink?
I mean, it works for us.
Not this time, because I'm so used to not drinking when we record, but they're such a great
stone
influence.
Cold sober when we scream at each other, so we know it's personal.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's sincere.
I don't know, Lauren. I don't think we scream at each other all that much on the podcast.
We don't. It's really upsetting, to be honest. That's what I made the podcast for.
So, we made the podcast so we could Zoom and drink.
Yeah.
And basically just do what we do in our Google Hangs,
but for
in an audio form for other people to listen.
It's extremely upsetting that I'm so infallibly smart that Rachel just won't argue with me.
Yeah, that's it. She cracked the code. That's the reason I won't.
Ooh, we sense a fight.
We're ready.
So this is
ready.
I guess you could call this the part 2 of our crossover week because your episode is technically coming out first. It'll have come out the day before. So you can listen to Rachel and I on Carla and Meg's episode of Wed and Behead, where we talk about Emma Swan, Regina Mills, and Snow White, or Mary Margaret, whatever you want to call her. And we are bringing that over to our show today, and we're going to sort them, where on Wed and Behead, we FMK'd them.
And they were a delight.
Now we're doing something slightly different. So Rachel and I have been fairly clear about this, and I think we've demonstrated it pretty well that this podcast isn't about Harry Potter in the slightest, but it's based on Harry Potter. So we thought it would be fun to ask you guys about your experiences with Harry Potter. Some knowledge is required, or at least knowledge enough to say, fuck that, and do whatever you want. And also, obviously, we're here to ask you what houses you're in, whether or not you're correct, but...
Okay, so I'll start. My husband has been a huge Harry Potter fan for a million decades, even though he's only in his 40s. It's amazing. He looks so young. And I used to go and watch all of the Harry Potter movies with this one friend of mine, who I stopped speaking with because he got very weird. But that's not
because of Harry Potter.
No, he's just weird in general. I actually
he told her the wrong
Harry Potter movies with him. I was really bummed about that, but that's pretty much the only thing I did.
She's like, well, I can never see those movies again.
Oh no, I can. It's perfectly fine. But also my husband, because he's a huge Harry Potter fan, he used to listen to the audiobooks a lot to go to sleep. So I also got to listen to the audiobooks a lot while I was going to sleep. So at least I memorized the first half of the first book because that's his favorite. And as far as the houses, I had just glancing knowledge. I did expand my knowledge with the help of Google. And now I believe I'm an expert, just as people are experts on vaccines now, and coronavirus, because of their Googles. I am now an expert on Harry Potter houses from the 30 minutes of research that I did, in-depth research, I will add. In-depth research that I did in preparation for this podcast. So I'm very well versed in this. As for my house, I have been told by both Lauren and Meg's daughter that I am a Ravenclaw, and who am I to go against these brilliant experts?
Carla, I will say, when we started this chat 2 months ago to talk about doing this, Rachel messaged me in our DM and went, "Is Carla a Ravenclaw?" And I said, "Yeah." She went,
yeah.
"Okay."
I just wanted to be sure. I got the vibe.
Yeah, well, it's a very strong Ravenclaw vibe from what I understand. So, three brilliant, beautiful people can't be wrong. And therefore, I feel assured and comfortable in my Ravenclawness.
You don't ever need a test or anything? You're good
No,
to go?
please, whatever. No,
right.
Also, I like the colors. I'll get myself a scarf. It's fine. It works.
Blue and bronze.
Colors.
Yeah. Megan?
Well, I guess it's my turn. I have always had this is going to sound great for this podcast. I've always had kind of an adversarial relationship with Harry Potter because I think I was 14 when the books came out, and it was just I was at that age where I was too cool for it. So I was like, fuck this. I don't want to listen to a book about or read a book about kid wizards. What kind of bullshit is that? I'm going to read my vampire books.
Which I hated.
I hated Twilight too, you guys. I hated Twilight. So anyway, when my sister got very, very I see you. My sister got very, very into Harry Potter and kept pushing me to read the books because she was like, these are amazing. And she's my older sister, by the way. She's like, these are amazing and blah, blah, blah. And she kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And finally, 15 years after they came out, I was like, all right, fine. I made a deal with her. I made her read a terrible series of books in order for me to read Harry Potter. So, and I actually haven't even finished. I am a quarter of the way through the 7th book, but I would always, I've been listening to them on audiobooks, usually on my commute to work, and on the one day I'm in the office at work, I listen to them there. I don't listen to audiobooks at all or podcasts at all, really, when I'm at home. And since COVID, I'm always at home, so I just haven't. Much to my sister's chagrin, she's very mad at me. She's like, you got to the 7th book and you stopped? So I guess it's supposed to be good. I've never seen a single one of the movies. I've seen the first movie up until the cousin dude. I can't remember. It starts with Dundee or Dumfrey or something. Dudley. Dudley. There we go.
No. Call him Dundee.
An actual name that exists.
No. So Dudley, when Dudley gets the pigtail, and then I always fall asleep. However, my 12-year-old daughter is obsessed with Harry Potter. She is a veritable encyclopedia of Harry Potter knowledge, and being 12 years old and unable to stop talking, I have learned an awful lot of Harry Potter unwillingly, trying to be a supportive parent. As of the house that I'm in, I feel like I shouldn't even say anything. I feel like I should just let Laren say it, because I took the Pottermore quiz and I got my results. And when I told Lauren my results, she lost her goddamn mind because she emphatically disagrees with the Pottermore results that I am a Hufflepuff. Laren, what do you think I am?
She doesn't think she knows.
She's
well, you are a Gryffindor. I'll tell you right now that Pottermore has never, ever, ever sorted me correctly, ever in its entire... And I've made so many emails to just take the sorting quiz. Yeah.
Well, it's really funny, actually, because, like I said, it's not something I've really been super invested in with Harry Potter and everything like that. But listening to you guys, actually listening to your guys' podcast and kind of talking about houses and what characters go in that, and listening to the many Harry Potter fans that I have in my life, including you guys and Hannah and other folks. I gotta say, I gotta agree. I gotta agree.
Oh my God, she came out on the
podcast. I think you're
lying fucker.
Welcome.
Like, yeah, this person is a fucking dumbass who makes bad choices for good reasons and just won't shut the fuck up. That sounds about right.
Wow. That sounds so accurate. Oh my God.
That sounds right in my wheelhouse. I briefly thought I was... And Laren's crush on me.
Yeah, right.
It's true.
I briefly thought I was a Ravenclaw when I was just like, well, I like to read.
You and Rachel both, because I like to read.
This was before I had any kind of... This was before my daughter was old enough to read Harry Potter books. And
to explain them to you.
And then tell me how wrong I was. So, but yeah, I'm a Gryffindor. I can say.
Your reason for wanting to be a Ravenclaw is way better than mine. I just wanted a pun for my name, so I would say Ray
and also to
R-A-Y.
desperately not be a Gryffindor.
Yeah, I just didn't want to admit it.
Gryffindors are basic bitches, so.
Yeah, that's like, that's the thing is like, I was like, I can't stand Harry. Why would I want to be a Gryffindor too? But then I heard about other cool characters who are Gryffindors. I'm like, okay, that's better.
No, we're the best house.
Suddenly the taboo was lifted.
We're the best house. Don't worry. Don't listen to Lauren. She's a villain.
Once I heard about Dean Winchester, I was all in.
It wasn't a good house. Clearly, I have some issues.
You called us basic bitches. That won't be forgotten.
No, you are, because in the terms of the Harry Potter universe, the Gryffindor house is the basic.
In Laren's defense, I am 100% a basic bitch.
Also
I'm a suburban mom drinking white wine on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
there you go. All right.
With a high pony.
It's very cute.
The Ariana Grande pony. All right. So like I said earlier, we're sorting from Once Upon a Time, the woman in Once Upon a Time. Regina, Emma, Snow. Our format is going to be a little different. When Rachel and I are on the show alone, or when we did our one episode with Hannah, we all knew characters and sorting well enough to just kind of have a conversation. Meg and Carla are new to sorting, and
what do you mean?
They're experts.
I don't know if you heard. Carla's an expert.
I am an expert. I just said
she's the Dr. Fauci of sorting. I heard, but but Rachel and I thought that we could go through character by character, and Meg and Carla could tell us where they sorted them and why, and we would listen to their reasoning, and then Rachel and I will tear it apart in a conversation. Our first character, we're going to start with Emma Swan, the title character. Yay! So, who's first? Who's going to talk less? You guys don't know. Meg, sort Emma. Tell us why.
Okay, so I sorted Emma as a Gryffindor. A big part of that is because she falls squarely into the chosen one trope that we see all the time. We see her with Dean and Buffy and the whole spiel, and I feel like all the chosen ones tend to be Gryffindor because they have that drive to save the world or save their families and fuck everyone who tries to get in their way. Plus, she also has the audacity that Gryffindors tend to have. And she likes to throw her own ass away to do what's right. And that's basically all I had there for my Gryffindor thing. I know you guys get real in depth, and I have to wait till you talk more so I can yell.
That was
steal some
great.
ideas and really expand on them.
I try and be quick and do bullet points.
That was better than
all my talking is just bullshit.
That was better than That was better than Rachel just going, I just feel like it. I just feel it.
I'm never wrong, so I don't care.
Y'all are so academic, and I'm just she throws her whole ass away all the time, and she's full of the audacity.
But did you guys bring citations?
Fuck, I did.
The funniest part of going back through episodes is hearing Lauren be like, I have in my notes here, if you just give me a second.
Some of us did not write a 17-page about how a certain person is in a certain house like it was a dissertation. Some of us did not do that. I'm not saying who did.
It was 20 pages. And I just pull examples so my points are supported. Carla, sort Emma.
God, I can tell that you're an archivist.
I sorted Emma as a Hufflepuff.
Okay.
Because from what I read in my, like I said, in-depth, hardcore 30 minutes of Googling, they value hard work, dedication, and loyalty. And I think Emma really does. And I know that, for Hufflepuffs, there's this whole thing about community and about them being a part of a community, feeling like they need to be enveloped and they need to also do the enveloping of the community. And Emma didn't really have that growing up. And I think that she values that all the more because she came into it in adulthood. So in my mind, it really felt like that would be the right house for her. I'm not objecting to Meg's assessment, though, because I think that she had some really strong points in there about her being Gryffindor. And I was actually teetering between the two houses for Emma. Definitely didn't see her as a Ravenclaw, so, no, in my mind. But, I mean, as a Ravenclaw, as a spokesperson for Ravenclaws, I can confidently say.
Your flip.
But yeah, that's just what felt right to me for Emma. As for citing stuff, well, the fact that,
your expertise.
My expertise. Can you really
your Google diploma?
I don't need a diploma. I am me. I don't need a diploma, please.
She's the only Ravenclaw here. She's the one we need to listen to.
She likes books. She's Ravenclaw.
But there were so many times where she really stuck by Regina, for example, when she didn't. It wasn't, Regina wasn't even expecting her to, and it wasn't necessarily like a thing where people would have expected her to do that. But she sticks by her people, and she really goes out on a limb for them, and really throws herself into the fire for them. And that's, we're talking about somebody who initially was her nemesis, because, I mean, I don't think it gets more nemesis-y than the person who is trying to claim parental rights over your child, over you. But
I mean, Regina did have parental rights.
No, yeah, but I mean, legally, but eventually Emma also wanted the parental rights. Well, but she certainly
strong Regina bias is coming out.
She certainly doesn't have like the patience that a Hufflepuff supposedly has. I think she's more headstrong and kind of, she doesn't really weigh out things before she jumps into stuff. But I don't think that really.
Wait, are you just?
What?
I was gonna say, are you speaking against Hufflepuff for her now?
No. I'm just saying that despite that one thing, like I still think of her as more of like in all other aspects. I think she's more of a Hufflepuff. So tell me how I'm wrong, please,
Lauren. Where do we put Emma? Let's go.
Eviscerate me.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
I will say that Rachel and I also had this Hufflepuff Gryffindor conversation, and Rachel was soundly beaten into the ground within like 2 minutes on her going, maybe Emma's a Hufflepuff. Mm-hmm.
So I was right.
You were right.
Yeah, she's a Gryffindor.
According to us, yeah.
That means it's right.
Yeah, it's the only.
In the universe of this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll speak to what you guys said first. Well, I did laugh at Meg for saying the chosen one thing, because chosen one syndrome is what I put on Slytherins. For Gryffindors, I think it's a hero complex. So But she definitely has that. She's literally the savior, and everybody tells her she's the savior from like the second she steps into fairy tale world. And she, unlike a Slytherin, a Sam Winchester, who would be like, of course I am. She's like, please get this away from me, like as far as possible. I want nothing. I
guess that's what I'm talking about, like the reluctant choice. Dean Winchester and Buffy Summers are both like, no, thank you.
Yeah, it's
but the compulsion.
Yes, I call it hero complex because it's I don't want it, but I'm compelled to do it anyway. So that's a Gryffindor thing, and then Slytherins are a chosen one syndrome. And then what Carla was saying about, I mean, Carla started going correct when she was like, Emma's really fiery, and she has this really bad temper, and I was like, that's all you need. Like, you got it right there. Rachel and I like to say when looking at Hufflepuffs and Gryffindors, if we have a really, really hard time, we look at how they fight, because that's an extremely, like, tellable difference usually.
As a Huffledore, I'm wondering how that is.
That's banned. That's a banned word.
That's extremely banned.
Not allowed here.
A Griffin puff.
No.
No mashing of any houses.
Wow.
We don't do that here, ma'am.
One house.
How dare you?
You are one house. But
I do remember when I mentioned to you once that I was a Hufflepuff, and you're like, no, you're a Gryffindor. The way you fight, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
It's the tell.
Not that you and I have ever fought.
I did. No, never. I did say that to you. And that's like Emma completely, like going with her gut, not listening really to reason. Carla was going into like what she does for Regina, which is correct, but I think it's less a community, like, because she did that for Regina when she didn't like her. Like, Regina's still actively trying to kill her, and Emma's like, don't put a sword through her, like, let's not do that right now. And it's just like, this is what's right. Like, don't kill. Like, I can't even remember specifically what she says, but I can pull so many instances where people were like, we got to get her, and Emma's like, no. And actually, a big thing that I can think of is Regina's mom, Cora, actually actively tries to kill Emma, like grab her heart. And there is a moment when Emma's like, no, like don't go after her, and feels real guilt over the fact that she's the one who was responsible for killing Regina's mom. So, I mean, I think it leans more towards Gryffindor than Hufflepuff. I don't feel as if Emma ever... I mean, she grew up in the foster system, so she never had a community. She has huge abandonment issues. And then I'm not totally sure that was... I mean, obviously she wants a family, but I'm not sure that she ever felt that she needed or wanted a community to be fulfilled. She doesn't really want to stay with Henry, which is part of her abandonment issue, but I don't think it was a real... Like, she wasn't happy in Boston, but she was, like, trucking along, as opposed to, like, a Hufflepuff would be having a really, really hard time. And I don't think that she... Like, she gets her family, and I think she fits in well with them, but I don't think she ever feels that they're a community in the sense that these are my people that I'm a part of. They're people that she's responsible for helping and protecting through whatever bond she has created with them. And you see, like, with the town itself, she is the savior for the town. She's not a person of the town, really, necessarily, because so many times, too, that they switch back and forth. And I think it gets to the point, like, she does not care. Like, she wants Hook, and she wants her parents, and she wants Henry. But then even when Henry grows up in that fake season 7, she's like, bye, kid, I'm having another kid. Like, so it's like...
That what happens in season 7. Interesting. Never
it's like adult Henry and his adventure with his daughter, who shows up and is like, Dad, you abandoned me when I was and it's like this whole thing.
Oh my God. I don't even have anything to add to Emma. Literally written down, I have she's called the savior. She's a Gryffindor. Like, it's so bad. And Carla had mentioned something in a previous conversation about how she's, like, annoyingly insecure. And it's so funny because she's like so insecure and, like, unsure of the power. But then in some episodes, it's like, it has to be me. Train me to do it. So
and I said that was a turn on for me.
Yeah. And it's also...
But this is not Wed or Behead.
It's
right.
True.
But it's also what Lauren calls it, the Gryffindor what? Paradox?
What? Yes.
The paradox?
Yes.
Yeah, where she's, like, really
where
unsure.
You're simultaneously the greatest person in the world and also can't do anything right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Emma suffers from that greatly. So Gryffindor for sure.
I'm getting a complex again, you guys.
I will say I'm trying to think of the things I said to Rachel when we were talking about this. Emma has this gut thing where her superpower where she's like, I always know when you're lying, and that's extremely Gryffindor to rely on your gut like that. And Rachel was like, isn't that her magic? And I was like, no, that was an Emma thing. Like, it wasn't. That was how that might have been how her magic manifested, but it was an Emma thing to be like, this is her gut instinct and this is how she's doing it.
And to call it a fucking superpower.
Yeah, and it did before she knew she was magical, yeah.
It's called intuition, Emma. We all have it.
Gryffindor ass.
She was a bounty hunter. She stole. That's how she ended up in jail. She was a thief for a while. She ended up she fell into, well, she was thieving before, but then her ex Neil was like who got her into like stealing stuff because they sold.
Freaking Neil.
Yeah. Fuck Neil.
I love that actor, and he always plays such douchebag.
Oh,
he does. True Blood, right?
Oh, he has
Blood.
the face.
Yes,
so good.
Yeah, we're gonna have that conversation. We'll see when you guys sort True Blood. I'll be back.
He's not coming near the podcast.
You guys want a third host?
He does have the asshole face though, and he he almost like he kind of like spins it to her in a way that like it's right to be doing this because we're stealing from people who don't need it or who like are bad or like blah, blah,
right.
blah blah blah. Yeah, that's what Emma's doing. She's always doing like what's right for her. I think how she acts towards her parents when she knows they're her parents is, first of all, extremely reasonable, unlike what her mother thinks. And second of all, I think is also like tellingly Gryffindor. I think a Hufflepuff would have an easier time, maybe not calling them parents immediately, but falling into a friendship. Whereas Emma had a friendship with them, and then we're your parents, and she kind of pulled away from that to like reassess and like figure it out. Yeah,
I'll give a little more of an opinion about that when we talk about Snow. But I think the whole idea of Emma going not necessarily by legal, what's right and wrong legally, but going by her own sense of morality and her own, like we talk about the gut sense of what's right and wrong. I think that is a hella Gryffindor kind of trait.
Yes.
Because, with all my research and all of my expertise on Gryffindors, being one now for...
What's your gut telling you?
My gut tells me that listening to your gut apparently is a Gryffindor. Only 1/4 of people seem to do it.
Yeah, right? 1/4, 25% Gryffindors.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many, like Rachel and I have talked about before that a Gryffindor's moral righteousness doesn't mean that they're always right in the best sense of the world. Like, you can have evil Gryffindors or what did we decide they were? Griffassus. But
well, I think it's so interesting. I think it was like I've heard it from several actors who talk about, and I think Mark Shepard is one who comes to mind immediately, who talks about, because he plays a lot of bad guys. And he's like, you can't play them as being bad guys. In their mind, in their story, they're doing what's right.
Right.
And I think that's a very much a Gryffindor trait. I could see a lot of bad guys being Gryffindors, because if that's their moral compass or their perceived right, then I absolutely see Gryffindors going.
Yeah, I mean, you see it wholly play out when,
and then we call them Slytherins, bitches.
Oh my god, you see it wholly play out when Emma is the bad guy. She literally becomes the dark one, and what she does is she curses her family to not remember anything. She makes the love of her life also a dark one, and then curses him not to remember anything, so she can make him not a dark one without him ever realizing that he's a dark one. And the entire time she's like being like bitchy and evil to them to make them think that she's turned fully while she's doing this like behind the scenes stuff. And then everybody gets their memory back and is super mad at her, and she's like, I really don't understand because I was fixing it. So I don't know. Her boyfriend reacted in the exact way that his house would react when you get told that you're not being trusted. But I mean, the only other things that I can really think of, I was just thinking of the reason that Neil abandons Emma in jail is because Pinocchio told him to, and Emma's pretty good friends with August/Pinocchio, and when she learns about this, she's not at all mad at August, but she's furious at Neil for listening to Pinocchio. And then
August was another one gone too soon.
Yes, that's true.
The Huntsman in August.
And then when when Rachel and I were discussing this, when she was still like, well, maybe like a Hufflepuff, blah blah blah, because I don't remember what you said about Henry being born in jail, but you said
I said that I said that it's hard for me to think of a situation where a Gryffindor would willingly part with their kid.
Oh, yeah. And then I said she was in fucking jail.
Right.
Rachel was like, all right.
Not remembering the events of the show makes these conversations hard.
This is me talking with Meg all the time.
Too.
Because Meg remembers like all of these teeny tiny details, and I'm like, when did that happen?
Let's move on. I think we've said enough about I'm not a fan of Emma.
You don't want to say anything else about Emma?
No, I'm not a fan.
Fuck you. Okay.
I don't like her. But Regina, though. Let's talk about Regina.
Yes, let's talk about Regina.
Oh, no.
No. I mean, like, nothing wrong. I mean, like, I personally think that I would sort her as Slytherin. And it's not a bad thing. Like, I swear.
Bias is against my house.
No, it's really not. Because it's you know, like, where we talked earlier about how Slytherin is greatly maligned as, like, the evil house, but it's really not. It's just people who are ambitious and resourceful. They're leaders. They're clever. And I think Regina is all of those things. I think she knows what she wants. She goes after it. She has quite a bit of ambition. And she has honed the skills to get to where she wants to be. And I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Genocide is a different story, but everything else is not a bad thing. And I really do think that that particularly when she becomes unevil, when she de-evils herself, those better Slytherin qualities don't go away. You know, she doesn't become less ambitious or less resourceful, less clever, any of that just for losing her evil side. And again, this is a thing of where Slytherin gets cast as the bad guy and as the evil one. That's not necessarily true. That's just what people have said because of J.K. Rowling's not so great writing, which is, you know, not Regina's fault. But I just don't see her in any other house, simply because of the fact that she is so confident. I think is the best way to describe her. She's very confident, even when she's down, even when she's doubting herself. There's still some kind of semblance of her strength in there, and I absolutely see nothing wrong with that. With knowing who you are, knowing who your opponents are, using their weaknesses to your advantage to some degree. And the fact that she was evil initially is just incidental. It's just, you know, she just happened to be evil in the beginning, but that's just, you know, neither here nor there. She's just a Slytherin because she is damn good at using her strengths to her advantage.
Good points. Meg?
So, I actually agree that Regina's a Slytherin, and I think you guys both know that I have a lot of love for Regina, so it's not maligning the House of Slytherin. I don't think any of her traits really are inherently bad traits. She is extremely smart and resourceful, like Carla said. She is extremely cunning. She also will do anything pretty much to get what she wants. She sacrificed her own father, who, bless his heart, was probably a Hufflepuff and totally understood as she cuts his heart out. But she's also willing to curse a whole ass town to spite one bitch, which felt...
That was a bit much. That was a little much.
Just, it felt really petty to me, but in a delicious kind of way. But she she's very crafty and she is a born leader. I mean, she is a mayor, she was a queen. She wasn't always an evil queen. She wasn't always the way that she was, but as far as being an evil queen, but even when she was not evil, she was very resourceful. She was very crafty. She was very much a Slytherin. I part of me put her in Slytherin because I really couldn't see her in any other house. The closest was maybe Gryffindor, but I didn't really feel like that was a good enough fit for her, because I think Gryffindors have a sense of, I mean, we talked a lot about Gryffindors, and I just don't think she fits in it. So, but yeah, so I have to agree. Carla said a lot of what I was going to say. So all I was going to really wanted to say is that she cursed a whole town to spite one bitch. Like, literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren, I don't think they've heard of othering.
You can take the reins on this one.
Well, here's the thing about Hufflepuffs, and that's what Regina is. Shockingly enough, they have absolutely no problem othering people. And when a Hufflepuff others you, you're enemy number one. It doesn't even matter anymore if it rationally makes sense. Does it matter if it was your 8-year-old stepdaughter who accidentally got your boyfriend killed, whatever, they're a child? She's othered. It's done. And you're subhuman now. That's something that Hufflepuffs do. And that's how Lauren convinced me, because I was on the Slytherin train for Regina. I was too. I was like, oh, she's like a badass, powerful, whatever, like all the stuff you guys said.
Yeah, I feel compelled to say I don't think that it's a bad thing that because she's the quote-unquote bad guy. That's why I put her in Slytherin.
Definitely not. That's why I first of all, I love Slytherins probably more than Lauren. So if I put someone in there, it just means I really, really love them. But no, she's she just wants to belong. It's kind of pathetic how badly she wants to belong.
Yeah.
She's like, just love me. Please just love me. I'm trying so hard. She wants to be part of a community so bad, and they just shit all over her all the time.
That's true. But oh my god, that makes so much sense. She cursed the whole town, made them all forget everything, and then became the mayor, the ultimate community member. Yep. That makes so much.
And I think I said
mind blown.
I just want to say something real quick about how Rachel is on the right track initially, and then Lauren turns her over to the dark side, and that's very interesting to me as somebody who has studied Hogwarts houses for upwards of 30 minutes. And
I mean, I feel like this is also a study, so now it's been 90 minutes.
And I feel like even more of an expert now. I feel like if there's a doctorate plus, maybe that's what I would have now. I have a doctorate plus in Hogwarts houses. And
she's a master sorter.
And as such, I believe that Rachel's initial gut reactions, which she's a Gryffindor, and therefore her gut reactions
it's always right.
Are right. So always. I think she was right about this whole Slytherin thing.
Well, a thing about Gryffindors is we go with our gut or initially all the time, it's immediately right. But we have no problem bending if something else makes more sense, because then our gut is no, that.
No.
So that's why I feel like that makes so much sense. I immediately leapt over there.
Yeah, Ravenclaws won't bend, ever.
It's extremely hard.
It's really
extremely hard.
Gryffindors are very forgiving, we're very malleable, we're very all that sad stuff that makes me wish I was a Ravenclaw or a Slytherin.
As I immediately leapt onto the idea of Hufflepuff. That makes sense.
You see?
Yes, no. But it's not Rachel said that she's the othering is what convinced me. But it's not just the othering. It's the wanting to, I said it in your podcast yesterday too, I'm pretty sure. She's every single one of these townspeople, she's like, yeah, I burned your cousin alive, but why can't you just accept that I'm an okay person now? I just want to be your friend. And they're like, dude, that's not how it works. And I can't remember who said it, that she killed her dad. But that
was me.
That would be a no-no for a Slytherin. She loved her dad.
That's true.
You said Engel, and I was like, maybe a Slytherin would do that for an Engel, possibly. And her dad was okay with it, but
her her dad was like full on board with it.
I know.
He unbuttoned his shirt. Yeah,
he was
drew
like,
a little
"Baby, have
line.
whatever you want," but like
it was like, "Here you go. Let me literally rip my chest open for you."
But like Rachel said, like Gryffindors are super malleable. Slytherins are less so, and like the way that Regina flip flops with her othering is so drastic and ridiculous. Like just with Cora, I'm gonna kill her. Love me, mommy. I'm gonna kill her. Mommy, why don't you love me? You killed my mother, you bitch, Emma. And Emma's like, dude, I don't understand. So it's like this big thing she does. And I was thinking about too, as you were talking about Engels, because I was like, she did do whatever she needed to do to like have the curse enacted. And that was extremely petty, but Hufflepuffs are also extremely petty. So, but then she did it, and she was fine, and like she went through, like we saw that sequence.
I don't know if we call her fine.
Well,
she like talked to her dad all the time.
No. But we saw that sequence where she went through day after day after day of the same thing, and she was okay with it for quite a while before she was like, "Is this it?" And then she got a kid, and that's the reason for Henry. But, like, a Slytherin, like, constantly needs something to do. And I feel like she wasn't, like, constantly needed something to do. She finally just got to the point where, like, this is all my curse did. Like, I have to live the rest of my life like this, and this is boring as hell. And she was alone, right? Like, nobody knew who she really was or what she, and they were like, "Hi, Mrs. Mayor." So she got a kid, and then the kid was like, "This bitch is evil, and I need to find my real mom." So, and then she was really upset about that. Like, that was the focus of her character after that.
But did he really think she was evil, or did you just find that?
I mean, he was a 10-year-old that thought she was the evil queen. But
yeah. Right. So I think therapy
that bitch Snow White really gave him. So
that fucking bitch Snow.
Oh my God, how dare she give him literature that a 10-year-old's mind is going to latch onto. Oh.
I think the only other thing I wanted to say about Regina was that you guys mentioned her, like her power and her skills a lot. And a huge thing with Hufflepuffs is how seriously they take their craft and their work and their jobs. And like, it's just they're natural leaders in their skills and in their jobs. And I would say that magic is Regina's job. So she's just naturally inclined toward it. She takes it so seriously. And it's really, really Hufflepuff of her to do that. It, with Slytherins, they're very, they love having the power, but I don't always see them crafting it. What are you pointing at?
We just poke it.
Yeah.
Like, what can
it's like usually they're automatically they're automatically good at it or naturally inclined towards it, so it just kind of falls onto them. They're like, "Of course, I'm the best." But like Regina really works hard to craft it and then to be the leader in that skill. So that's just another Hufflepuff thing.
This kind of leads into the last thing I wanted to say about Regina, because that I think like speaks to her frustration with Emma too, when she's supposed to be teaching her magic and she's like giving her books or whatever, and Emma's like, "I can't learn from books," and Regina's like, "You're so stupid, just do it." And I was like, I can't feel it in me. And Regina's like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, like read the book and say the spell." And she's like, "It's not in my gut, I can't do it." But
the
so
more
annoying.
I hear you guys talk about Hufflepuff, the more I'm like, of course I'm not a Hufflepuff.
No, but
I'm not an expert in anything, and I just don't give a shit.
Me neither. I don't care about anything. People are always like, "What's your dream job?" Like, you think I dream of labor? I don't want to fucking be like...
Exactly, yes.
No.
I work for my life outside of work. That's it.
This is
people
the difference.
talk about...
This is the
People talk about...
This is the difference with Slytherins, is that it's usually like Hufflepuffs are working towards something because they need it. Hufflepuffs need to be useful. Like, they need to be able to do something for other people or whatever. And for Slytherins, it's just a passion. So, like, they fall into it because they love it, and then they protect it fiercely, and then they end up being good at it because of those two things. But they don't use it really for like, they pull it out. They pull it out when they need to use it to do something else. Like, they don't always constantly
like to write a 20-page paper on Hogwarts House.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds so accurate now.
The only other thing I was going to say about Regina is that after she is even like friends with Emma, she's still I was trying to think of the exact circumstances under which. So Regina starts to date Robin, and then Robin dies, but then Hook comes back from the dead, so Emma gets to be with Hook still, and Regina got mad at Emma because she's like, "Why are you flaunting it at me?" Emma's like, "What am I doing?" But she
is so petty.
But it's literally also just all this like feeling of like belonging and needing that, and like she lost it and saw somebody else that had it, and that's why she was mad, and like she had to curse this 8-year-old in her entire kingdom because she took her community from her.
As you do.
Daniel represented
cursed Snow too.
Daniel represented so much more than just like her boyfriend. She had an abusive mother and a dad that wasn't doing anything to help her. Daniel was gonna get her out of there. So
yeah. No, he totally represented freedom and an entire life. Like a happy life.
Yeah. A family. He was a family. Yeah. He was going to be her like new family. So it was as I like to talk about, the communities that Hufflepuffs have to move to.
Mm-hmm.
that hero Snow.
Yeah.
Oh, your favorite. That's Meg's favorite character.
Who wants to sort Snow first?
Go ahead, Carla.
Well, I might as well because I've been wrong on all of them. So why not add one more to the pile?
Carla, where would you put Snow?
So because I'm going to be wrong regardless, I'm just going to say whatever the hell I want. Because,
yeah, that's what we do.
Exactly.
But then we just convince people we're right, so.
Oh, well.
We're 2 for 2. Go ahead.
I was, you guys are probably going to sort her in Ravenclaw. What do I know? That sounds like about right to me for where you're gonna go with this. I sorted her initially as Gryffindor because she sees herself as somebody who is just morally right and just her cause is the right cause. Although now I'm thinking the more that you guys have talked, the more I think that she might be more of a Hufflepuff. But now I'm just very confused. So I'm going to go with my original, totally in the dark guess, and use my postdoctorate in Hogwarts house sorting to sort her into Gryffindor.
Okay, I just want to say that's Ravenclaw in action, acting on instinct. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So, there's this whole thing about courage and determination, and she is courageous and she is determined, and it may not always put her on the side of being correct, but she certainly thinks that she's correct, and she's very driven and motivated by those things. She's her daughter really is the chosen one, but she is the mother of the chosen one, therefore she has chosen one rights, I guess. But she just really but she just, I mean, honestly, like, if your kid comes up with like a Picasso stature piece of art, do you not go like, that's my kid, those are my genes? Like, I mean, come on, really? Like,
she's a product of true love.
Yes, exactly.
No, she's true love between her and Charming. Here? I did that.
Would she even be here if it were not for my loins? Psh, I'm just putting that out there, just saying it. You don't want to say it, I'm saying it. But yeah, like she really does. In everything that she does, she believes that she is righteous, and she believes that her aim is true. And I mean, honestly, she's really good with an arrow, so her aim is often true. But she's, I think that there are just a lot of qualities in the Gryffindor house, in my extensive studies, that seem to point to Snow being a Gryffindor. Meg?
You agree, Meg? Or you go somewhere else with it?
No, I sorted Snow as a Hufflepuff.
Okay.
She has a lot of, like, we talk about loyalty with Hufflepuffs, and that's kind of the thing. And you guys talking about othering is a big thing for her, too. Like, she others people, and then that's it. I think a lot of my views of Hufflepuff for her are her mommings things. Family is, like, number one, and loyalty is a really big deal to her. Like, I literally wrote nice, super righteous, A lot of mom vibes. and her kind of feeling that the most of the Hufflepuff, or like the mom vibes or whatever, obviously I got, was when she found out that she was Emma's mom and she decided that, well, I'm your mom now. We were equals before, but now I'm your mom, so I know better. And I'm going to take on this role, and maybe I'm completely wrong in the house for that, but this is just one of the... I just got I'm looking at your guys' faces, and I'm feeling like I'm so wrong. But I don't care. But I had a hard time with Snow because I hate this character so much. I had a real hard time sorting her in anything other than she's a muggle.
I always ask Lauren when I really hate a character. Can she just be a squib?
Yeah.
Like,
does she hate somebody
be in a house?
Sort them. She's like, they're a squib, and I'm like,
yeah,
stop.
Like, I don't want to think about them. I hate them.
Well, it's just she, like, we talk about like the Hufflepuffs, like they're patient and they're all about loyalty and they're all about justice, and she's just such a... Mary Sue is not the right term to use for her as a character, but she is just such a...
Her name's Mary.
I hate her so much.
Her name's Mary. You're fine.
I really, really do. And Carla, I'm spoiler alert for our podcast. If I would not hate you in middle school, okay? But I just there's something about her that feels really disingenuous and frustrating to me. I had a really, really hard time sorting her. I had a harder time sorting her than I did with any of the other ones, and I definitely don't think she and Regina are in the same house. So, y'all talked me over to Regina being a Hufflepuff, so I don't feel like Snow could be a Hufflepuff. But that's just me, and I'm going to listen to you guys tell me how I'm wrong in my initial assessment.
They're going to go with Slytherin.
I'm very
that's my guess.
And judgy. I'm very judgy about Snow, so I have a really hard time. Judgy,
so they're probably good. I don't know. Tell us, sorters. Tell us how wrong we are.
I don't like her.
You're about to get more mad,
sorters
though.
Versus
the boob sob fight. Sobby boobs.
It was just...
I just see your faces, and I'm just like, I don't know.
It's because I'm listening to you describe a house, and then you're not saying that house.
Then you don't say that house. One of them did it each time.
Yeah, I know.
But you know what? Like, it's funny because I feel like Meg and I know exactly what we're saying. Because we're just so used to each other.
But you're right. You're right about everything you're saying. It's just...
The wrong house.
Yeah, like, right idea, like wrong container.
Wait, we're both wrong?
No.
Carla got it.
Me.
Yeah.
What?
She's definitely a Gryffindor.
First Gryffindor on this show that I absolutely hate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is hilarious to me because I forgot one of you haters so much.
You just what?
Because I got one right, and it's the one that they did test.
She's like a Gryffindor on acid.
Though.
It's like, it's everything cool about a Gryffindor, but it's too much. It's just so much. Like, I can't...
Wait, we talked about Gryffindors being bad guys, so...
Yes, but she's not a bad guy. She's not a bad guy. She is cringy to me in her hero complex. It's like, it's too much. It's too much. I'm gonna be the one, and I'm the hero, and I found true love, and I'm... Oh, God, I can't.
I mean,
maybe
honestly,
that's what bugs me. Okay,
I'm your mom now, so we're the perfect family. I never abandoned you, and like...
Yeah. Maybe that's what bugs me so much is she has this crazy
She didn't abandon her daughter.
complex.
She put her in a tree stump and sent her to another universe.
to save her.
Maybe that's what bothers me so
that's
much.
what she says.
That's what
She's
bothers
saving
me
you.
so
It doesn't
much.
matter that you grew up in the foster system. I saved you. You're welcome.
How could she have? She lived in a magical realm. She probably thought that she was going to go to like some other royal family. What does she know about the American foster care system. Like, honestly,
all I'm
if
saying
anybody
is
knew what
maybe
they know now
I
about the
would
American
not.
anything, they would be like, "Oh no, sweetheart, you can stay here with us and take your chances."
Maybe I wouldn't have hated her so much if she didn't have the hero complex when there was someone else who was literally the savior and the chosen one, and Snow was like, "Oh no, I'm your mommy, so I'm automatically enveloped in that and better." Because I'm your mom.
She
I'm
just
gonna
has
say
big pick-me energy.
I had never noticed this and was never bothered by it, and now I will be every time I rewatch the show. Until Carla mentioned it, because I really had not noticed it.
She does that.
No. Every time that... So Emma is the savior because she's a product of true love, but every time I think Snow talks about it, she calls her a product of true love and not necessarily the savior, or she also brings that up. And so now I'm like getting this vibe where she's like, I did that because I'm in love with my husband.
Like, your only worth is because I boned this dude. And if it weren't for me boning this dude at this time, you would just be garbage.
You were also talking about the mom vibes too, and I want you to remember what she was like when she was like in the woods, running from the law or whatever. Mm-hmm. She was trying to murder Regina. Like, that was her whole thing, is she was trying to, which, to be fair, Regina was murdering all her friends, but she was going after
How is
her.
that a problem? I feel like if it was for any other show, we would be, like, rooting for Snow. Like, yeah, Snow, get this person who's murdering all of your friends. Like, isn't this what we talked about the entire run of Supernatural? Like, yeah, Dean and Sam, murder these people who have murdered all of your friends.
First of all, I never rooted for Sam to do anything.
Also, I wasn't
root for him to do a couple things if I'm there.
I'm never rooting for Regina to like go through with her curse when I watch the show. I want it to be like turn out or okay or whatever, but it's like the way she goes about it. When she first runs into David, like she throws a rock at his head. And is like,
and she like robs his whole carriage.
Yeah, she tries to take the engagement ring that he wants to give to his wife in order to buy food and stuff to go kill Regina. So like,
because she's because when she's doing it, when she's trying to kill someone, it's right because she's trying to do it.
I think that's the thing. It's that there's a very typical Gryffindor hypocrisy with her, where it's very like, it's wrong if you do it, but I can do it. And she doesn't even have she doesn't even have the gall to like put on a leather jacket and be cool about it like her daughter, okay? She's still got to be like the picture of pure perfection while doing it. So it just it bugs me. It bugs me. Like, be a hypocrite, be cool about it.
Like watching Snow, I'm not gonna lie, watching Snow, especially after she finds out who Emma is to her, is like if you take a fork and touch an aluminum filling in your tooth. Like
the other thing.
I'm sorry, you guys don't normally judge. Carla and I's entire podcast is about judging.
Yes. Well,
I don't think we've done anyone we don't like before.
Well, I was gonna say that the other thing about Snow too is like she does eventually become like friendly with Regina. Like Regina allows that to happen, but Snow's like, do you forgive me for getting Daniel killed? And Regina's like, no, I don't think I can ever do that. And Snow's like, why? Just do it. Like, girl, you need to settle with what you've gotten here. Like,
she's not trying to actually kill you anymore.
A Gryffindor can't let it go. Like, you can't live with the guilt.
I'm kind of forgiving you for murdering all my friends. Do you think you could forgive me for the one dude? Just the one
all her friends are dead because she did that, Carla.
It's not Regina's fault that Snow is a simp of a Gryffindor who just will forgive anything, okay? It's not her fault.
That's also a Gryffindor thing, yeah. Rachel said it earlier. They're fairly easy to forgive.
Hugely, yeah.
Shit, that's why I had so many toxic friendships for.
Yeah, because like you can say
Meg's coming to like a realization of self.
I'm like, yeah, this is like honestly, I'm having like a coming of age at 36.
It's the point of this podcast. We've succeeded.
Lauren's like, I've been trying to do this 5 fucking years. I talked to this woman for 3 minutes and I knew who she was.
She had to get me, like, she did the same thing with Hannah. And she threw me at Hannah, like, in the ring, too, because you, like, need a Gryffindor to show someone else, like, you're like me, trust me. And it's okay. It's okay. We'll do it together.
I think it's so funny because listening to you guys talk is what convinced me, like, okay, first off, maybe being a Gryffindor isn't the worst thing.
It's the best thing.
It is. It's the best. We're the best.
We're the best. You keep saying it. You keep saying it, and it'll become true. It'll become part of your gut.
And in your DM with Carla later, you'll be like, I said something wrong there, and I really needed to be deleted from the podcast because, like, I sounded stupid, and I didn't know what I was talking about. And, like, I always know what I'm talking about. I'm so smart, but Carla, I fucked up there. I always fuck up.
See,
and
that's what's
Carla's sitting here like,
always delete every time. I'm like, you sound like a fucking idiot. I just cut it out.
That's the power of the editor.
That's the power of the editor. I'm like, well, Laren loves Gryffindors, so I guess
I do.
Let me hop into that house.
I do. I love them.
I'm just gonna simp
because they'll only love me.
Either way, Snow sucks.
Wow.
That's all.
Got him.
I don't know. Do we have anything else to say about anybody? Do you want to... I feel like Meg was convinced on everybody that she didn't say with us, but I don't know about Carla.
I was 100% convinced about Regina, for sure. Like, Regina as a Hufflepuff. That makes total sense. And that's one of the things I really like about your guys' podcast is because you... like, if you go and you Google, like, what are Hufflepuff traits? Or what are Slytherin traits? They give you, like, these 4 things. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really easy on a surface level to say, well, okay, this person has these things. And to just stop there. But you guys really kind of delve deep into their psyche and whose they are as people. I have a hard time with Snow being a Gryffindor. I'm not going to lie, because I don't want her in my house.
Oh my God, I say that so much to Lauren.
I came out as a Gryffindor, and I immediately like, no.
Yeah, I say that
Get
all
out
the
of my
time.
House.
So, I fully agree with our assessment, our collective assessment on Snow, because I was right on that one, and I enjoy that very much. I also agree on the assessment on Emma, because I mean, I had been going between the two and not really, even with all of my research before the show, none of it really prepared you for the knowledge that you dropped. So I am thankful to you for explaining all of those Hufflepuff and Gryffindor differences. That really was very clarifying and helpful. I still think Regina's a Slytherin. I still do. But I completely see, like, now if I had that information beforehand, I would understand the like, I would be more torn about Slytherin versus Hufflepuff. Like, I feel like okay, well, you've put in some really, really good points that I still think are refutable, but it's your podcast and I'm going to be a gracious guest.
No, we told you to fight.
Okay, fine, I'll fight. You want to fight?
Let's go.
Let me just accommodate myself on my cushions. Aquí vamos.
Hang
Aquí
on, I'm
vamos.
gonna get
No.
comfortable.
Espérate. Aquí vamos. Ahí va. Here's the story. Okay, so
she
for
wins
me,
because
like,
I don't understand.
Oh my God, I was really hoping you would do all of it in Spanish. I'm not gonna lie.
Entonces vamos, mira, a mí me parece
I was
que
getting
Regina
really
es una
excited.
Slytherin porque, mira, ella es súper... No. Regina...
I was getting really excited.
Meg was getting turned on, like she was ready to go.
Like, yes, please.
So Regina, I think, is just... There are so many things about her that just scream Slytherin to me. And you have mentioned some things, especially about the, on the one hand, it's othering, on the other hand, it's the pettiness that are more Hufflepuff traits. And there are so many things that I think fit well within both houses. And like I said, if it were a thing where I had this information before about Hufflepuff, I think it would have been a harder decision for me. But the reason that I'm still kind of clinging to Slytherin as my sorting house for Regina is that it's the character traits of ambition and leadership and the resourcefulness that I just think are just so strong in her, and I think that override everything else. I think she's a born leader. She has like innate ambition, and yes, because she has this way of having a devotion to her craft, I think it's really important. And again, not something that I had considered as a Hufflepuff trait, but I think that's just part of a Fern. Doesn't necessarily negate all of her Slytherin qualities.
It's
and
because Carla's a Ravenclaw.
She's not gonna bend. She's not gonna bend.
Well, no. Hey.
She literally messaged me the other day. I'm intractable. It's one of my worst traits.
It is. It's one of my worst traits. But again, this is not about me. At least this time. I just really think that, and I will say, again, for fairness, I didn't watch the last couple of seasons because it sucked at that point, and I just could not. Not all of the killing in the world could keep me watching the show, but
There's not enough guyliner. Dude, I just like at the most base level, Regina's got too much emotional energy for me to ever put her in Slytherin. Everything she does is emotional.
She's super emo.
Oh, emotional.
But I think that those are things that are secondary because she was raised. Don't give me that look, Meg.
No, I'm going to give you that look for just 1 second because the entire basis of her doing this curse and her going evil and everything like that is an emotional base. The entire reason she did the curse, the entire reason she did anything is because she lost her quote-unquote true love and her portion of freedom. And you could argue that she reacted in a severely emotional way and, maybe overreacted, cursing an entire kingdom. Because just a little bit. But it was super emotional. It was not like a cold, calculated, this is what I'm going to do. She was hurt and in pain and angry, and she made this rash decision.
But here's the thing.
Within that.
It takes cold calculation to go to that as your solution.
I feel like no one kills their father for revenge or goes into revenge as a cold calculation, though.
As an
See, you guys talk about you're going to fight. Carla and I are going to sit here. Carla and I are going to relax.
Carla and Meg got this.
We just instigate.
Take care of fighting for you.
You're basically just running the
But here's funny. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, Regina's reaction was purely emotional. It was 100% irrational. And obviously out of proportion to what happened to her. But she wasn't like, okay, she became cold and calculating when she became the mayor, but her initial reaction to losing the love of her life and her chance at freedom was to go after an 8-year-old child. There's nothing rational about that.
Here's the thing, too. I think it's really interesting that you think Regina is a good leader, because I don't know that I would call her a leader. I'm trying to...
When she forces everyone
I'm trying to no, I was thinking about it as you were just talking about cold calculated revenge, blah blah blah. And I was like, the closest canning indisputed this person's a Slytherin that we can make is, okay, what did Voldemort do versus what did Regina do? And I see hugely major differences in how they reacted and what they did and how
you'll have to fill me in on what Voldemort did because I really don't remember. Again,
he also was genocide, Carla. But his genocide
has a doctorate of houses.
His genocide, rather than be emotional based because an 8-year-old killed his girlfriend, is that he decided that the people who didn't have pure blood were dirty in the world. It was a racist alley. Yeah, it was a racist.
He also went after a small child, but it literally had nothing to do with emotions. It was just I got to get this kid out of the way. I don't care.
He heard a prophecy that said the kid's gonna be the one to be your downfall, and he's like, all right, well, I got to kill it, and then I'll keep going.
No emotional energy,
nothing whatsoever. But he creates. He's also and Slytherins are huge leaders. I think Hufflepuffs are. No, Hufflepuffs are too. But Slytherins are hugely, and he created a gathering, a following, and he convinced people that his way of how he looked at things was correct, and that like you had to fight for this end goal. Like,
he was a Hitler allegory.
Yes, great. Thank you, Meg. He wasn't actually. Grindelwald was, but whatever. But
either way, they both sucked.
But Regina had like, I was trying to think, and Regina never like she had those like knight guys, but they weren't even characters. Like they died, and she was like, whatever. Like they were almost puppets that like she like threw at people, and then it was.
They were like clay people.
She very much like acted independently and like didn't pull anybody else into her she like only sometimes like for random side quests she would be like, can Captain Hook help me to get this magical hat, or like, but she never tried to gather people around her and convince them that cursing the town was like what
she could never raise an army, that was sure. That was for
and I was trying to think of instances because she does have like a leadership vibe to her when they're
in
like,
her skill.
In her skill, yeah. Mm-hmm. Emma always overshadows that. Emma always becomes the actual leader of like the group, which Regina hates, but it happens, and she doesn't really fight. Like she objects to Emma being there, but I don't think she really minds that Emma is giving direction. She's like, whatever, I'll do whatever needs to be done or whatever people are telling me to do.
I think a lot, and again, like I've said before, I didn't watch the entire run of the show, and the last that I watched it was a while ago. And it was largely because I wanted to rewatch it a bit for our recordings, but like it's not available for free anywhere, and I'm not about to spend money on one.
No, it's on Netflix.
No, it's not on Hulu.
It's on Netflix now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
It's on Netflix.
But it's long.
Damn.
I wanted to rewatch it too, and it was too time.
Bullshit! You wanted to rewatch it. I wanted to rewatch it with you, and you were like, haha. Like I'll ever.
She's
watch
right. I hate that show.
No, okay. So, like I said, I didn't watch the entire run of the series, and I haven't watched it for a long time. So there are things that I may be misremembering, or things that in my my 45 minutes of watching clips on YouTube did not sufficiently refresh me, or at least they may have been like biased towards Regina.
I'm with you.
Way that I
I'm with you, Carla. Like I told you, I've seen this show 5 times, and I'm just like Snow didn't go with Emma. She tried to, but then she died. So maybe I was a little harsh there. I still don't take back what I said, but she did abandon her.
But yeah, so like as far as Regina goes, I can see more now. And like I said, like it's not until you guys are bringing up all of this detail about Hufflepuff versus Slytherin and the things that are more deeply the traits that belong to each house. Because like I said, like what do I know?
You're a master.
Dude, I think Hufflepuff Slytherin's the hardest one. Because when a Hufflepuff is real isolated from their community, they look a lot like a Slytherin. So it can be hard.
And
I always struggle with it.
Okay, cool. So it's not just me. Like, that's refreshing.
No, not at all. I told you I felt totally Slytherin at first. And then I started remembering things about the show and like why she made the decision she did. And I was like, oh, she has too many feelings to be a Slytherin.
I was Slytherin also for Regina. But you guys convinced me that.
Well, you're a Gryffindor, so we know we can convince you of anything.
You accepted it fast.
Can just mold me around. No, but the idea, honestly, was like talking about how Regina really desperately wanted to be a part of the community, and thinking about it and thinking about how interesting it is, like, a Slytherin would not care about being accepted into their community.
Not unless they needed something from it.
Yep.
Right, but Regina needed something, but she needed
No, we don't need emotional things. We just need you to do something for us.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying is there was no, like, tactical reason that Regina would have to be the mayor.
Right.
Of
she
this
just wanted
town.
to be liked or respected or loved.
She wanted to be a part, and who's more integral in a community than the mayor? And Regina put herself in that position. And you guys talking about that is what really kind of was like, oh, that's absolutely a Hufflepuff.
And what better role could you pick to have all-encompassing love at your feet than being a mother?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To an abandoned baby.
Yeah.
Who just happened to be the the child of your nemesis.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she actively sought that kid out, though.
She, no, she didn't know who he was, but she did, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was the episode how she got him, and she, like, I don't remember. She didn't know it was Emma's. Like, she didn't know who, like, what Emma was.
Such a coinky-dink.
Fate.
That's fairy tales for you.
The world works in mysterious ways.
But yeah, so I think, you know, with all of that in mind, Hufflepuff makes a lot of sense for Regina.
And that's as good as we're going to get out of a Ravenclaw.
Mostly,
Enjoy what you got.
Mostly I still just get mad about Snow, but we can't keep talking about how much I hate Snow.
No, instead you get to talk about yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this, but where can we find you? We want to hear you talk more about other things.
About something not this.
About Supernatural.
Oh, well, we actually did several episodes on Supernatural. So if you want to find our Supernatural content or our content on shows like Lucifer, The Office, movies from the holidays, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast purveyors. We are Bed, Wed, or Behead Pod, and also you can find us on primarily Twitter.
Where on Twitter?
Oh my God,
Bed,
Meg.
Wed, Behead Pod.
Yes, Meg, that's a good place to look.
I'm just trying. Look for at Bed, Wed, Behead Pod.
Guys, go listen. You get so much more of this.
We also,
so great.
We also talk Schitt's Creek. We have a lot of fun.
Despite this no doubt 2-hour episode, their episodes are bite-sized. So
and they're so
Believe it
funny.
or not,
They're so
we are
funny.
so much more succinct. Thank you.
The only episodes that we have that are over an hour long are the episodes that Lauren is on.
wow, that's kind of rude. I think
I'm just
True.
gonna throw that out there. Generally, we try and stay under 30 minutes. We almost always stay under 45 minutes. When Lauren is on there, we try and stay under 2 hours.
this is such a maligning of my character.
No, we love you so much. But no, if you want to listen to character analysis in a much more judgmental way,
In a sexy way.
and a sexy way,
There you go.
and a way that includes so many more carbs because of how much I love pasta,
and liquor.
you can.
Yeah.
We're a boozy podcast full of fun and judgment.
I mean, what more could you want? Come on.
I mean, really.
I mean, really.
No, and I cannot express enough how funny it is. And like, I've never seen, what is it, Criminal Minds? And I listened to that entire episode. I've never seen Buffy, and I listened to that episode. So
Okay, you can find me in my personal Twitter at Wisconsinac, which is WISCONSENNACH. And if that sounds like a mouthful, fucking blame Carla. Carla, where can we find you?
You can find me at Carlatemis, it's CARLATEMIS. You can find me there on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Also, the name of my website is carlatemis.com.
She does amazing
her beautiful
photography, you guys.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Go check it out. Meg's
It's
gonna
so
put
good.
brand new Gryffindor in her profile, so she'll be recognizable.
I don't have all that many characters in my profile anymore.
I hope everybody listening enjoyed whatever came out of this. We don't know because it's heavily edited.
We're all going to sound so disjointed.
Meg and Carla, thank you for joining us. I hope you had fun. I hope this crossover experience was delightful and that we do it again with more characters that Carla refuses to give us. And everybody who's listening, please continue to listen. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Find us at SOB_pod on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see you again in 2 weeks with whatever's coming. Community. Oh my God, we've been talking about this.
We can finally say it.
Because what? You don't want me to say it?
Yes, yes. Say it more.
Please don't stop listening to them because of me and Carla.
Yeah, no, it's not their fault. It's out of their hands. I'm so sorry.
Whatever. Anyway,
They tried so hard.
we recorded Community like 2 months ago, and we've been accidentally talking about it, and we're finally going to give it to you. And Rachel and I love it.
Yes.
So look out for that in 2 weeks. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you had a good new year. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!